Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Expert Talks with Elkan and myself. And today the question is very important for people that are buying in the primary off-plan market. A question that everybody asks, and I used to ask that myself even. What happened if a project that you invested in, bought a property in it, that project never gets completed, it never gets handed over? What happened to the money you invested in?
It's a huge doubt, that. It's a very, very big doubt. And I used to share that concern as well, many, many years ago. And I think now it's fair to say that things have really changed over the last 9-10 years as far as how much involvement the government is actually putting into this now, right? So 10 years ago, we didn't have things like escrow accounts. You know, contractors and developers were batting at each other all the time and there were delays constantly. Now, the system is now much more, it's much more clockwork now in that sense.
Right.
So let's try to structure it together then, right? So you've got a contractor who's doing the actual construction of the building or the villa community, right? Then you've got the developer who's putting together the plans, you know, designing the community, designing the building, all of that. You've got RERA and Dubai Land Department who also have a heavy influence on this because they're the ones who are taking the money into escrow accounts from clients, right? You as an investor, you're paying money not to the developer, not anymore, but you're paying it to the government, who are keeping that money locked up until the developer gives you the keys.
Right.
Now this structure, right, it has its significant pluses, much more heavily so than its negatives, right? In that sense, let's look at it this way. Contractor, if they're delaying a project, what happens? First of all, they're going to be fined by the developer, right? But the developer has to continue paying them in order not to delay the project.
Right,
okay?
right.
Because in order for the developer to get the approval to put together a community or a building, it needs to go to municipality and get approved, right? And then the Dubai Land Department must make sure, very strictly, that the project has enough financial backing that it will not be, you know, it will not be not completed.
So it's really a chain of responsibility, starting from the
Exactly.
contractor to the developer and then to the land department. And what a lot of people don't realize that the actual escrow account that the money goes to is in the name of that specific project they invested in, not in the developer's name.
That's right, and the developer has no right to touch that money. All within the course of their construction life, they're allowed to touch only 5% of it. And that's only for marketing and advertisement costs anyways. Right. The 95% that's still locked up there can only be taken by the developer when they give you the project.
Once it's completed, hand it over.
Exactly.
100%.
So in that regard, in that respect, contractors are having pressure, right? Because if they delay, they're being fined by the developer. Developers are having pressure because they're paying yearly interest to the banks because most of them, 99% of them will finance the projects through banks rather than self-finance. Okay, so they've got pressure for that. They've also got pressure from the Dubai Land Department and RERA that if they start delaying the project, they will also fine them, right? They've got a small grace period, sure, but once they go over that deadline, they need to start compensating their clients, the people who've invested in there. That means their profit margins begin to shrink, right? Which is a big concern for developers. They're doing this for profit at the end of the day.
Right.
Okay, so, and all while this is happening, the clients should not feel any kind of pressure at all because his or her money is safe in escrow. They're completely okay, and that's the kind of rhythm that this follows. It's very seamless, and I love that structure. The only concern is force majeure, right? Force majeure basically is when, God forbid, a very big thing happens, war is breaking out, globally economically we're just completely tanked, and all of a sudden the developer cannot complete the project. The developer and the contractor might have troubles because of this, but the investor does not, because the money from escrow will just simply be released back to him or her.
And that's very important for everyone to know.
Yeah.
So at whatever given point, if something really bad happens, you'll get your money back because it's just sat in an escrow account.
Absolutely.
And that's it, really. I think we covered it all. If there's anyone from our subscribers or buyers that would like to dig in further into this, please get in touch with us. Elkan and myself will be able to assist you with this. He's amazing at explaining these things. And till then, we'll see you on another episode and take care. Goodbye.